Hey everybody, welcome in a little after lunchtime on this Tuesday, February 24th. This is the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank, and I'm Jared Floyd. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your work week. As you take a look at the visible satellite, again, high clouds have really been the only thing that we've encountered through the course of the day, and we'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, really just, the high clouds kind of filtering the sunshine as we go through the afternoon. Check of the radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Again, pretty quiet afternoon in store. All eyes are on a warming trend, the warm, dry, breezy conditions, which do lead to an increased fire weather risk, and then the potential for rainfall on Thursday. Temperatures rebounding pretty gradually as we've worked through the afternoon. Mid-50s, even some upper 50s to near 60 degrees, and the winds have been quite breezy out of the south. The dew points are starting to climb, but the low-level moisture is a little bit slower to stream back in. Again, this very dry environment with the breezy southerly winds will warm up rather rapidly. Carolyn, thank you so much for watching. Look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours. Again, most of us are trending 5-10 degrees warmer than we were at this point yesterday, so the southerly winds, dry environment, a lot of sunshine doing the trick to lead the warming trend. And speaking of those winds out of the south and southwest, generally in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. Check of rainfall over the last 30 days, and most of what you're seeing rain-wise, quote-unquote, comes from two different storm systems. The Valentine's Day storm system that brought showers and storms to the region, and the ice storm. Aside from that, we haven't seen much. Now, in all fairness, that's quite a bit of precipitation in terms of liquid equivalent over the last 30 days. But in the grand scope of things, we have not seen rainfall return regularly and more frequently to the region. And when you start to factor that in, Patsy, good afternoon. When you factor that into the lack of rainfall that really stretches back to early last year, the drought monitor looks as such, with the extreme drought conditions across our southern counties and parishes. If you're asking if this has changed recently, it hasn't. It's updated once a week. We got one last Thursday. That's when we saw some of these upgrades, and we haven't had any changes since then. Day planner shows daytime highs landing back in the low to mid 60s today. Again, warm, breezy. The lingering clouds will continue into the night. In fact, we expect the high clouds to hang around, and then low to mid-level clouds will really ramp up as we head through the overnight time frame. In fact, Futurecast kind of advertises that as we head through the overnight, the low clouds are back in. Could see some peaks of sunshine as we go through the daytime hours on Wednesday, but really essentially a stationary boundary drapes across the region, sets us up for another piece of energy to kind of ride along that boundary to help to generate the rainfall on Thursday. Janet, good afternoon. So as we go through the day tomorrow, we've set up with the kind of the same scenario that we ran into through much of last week. Cloudy, warm, breezy. And then by Thursday, a new area of low pressure and a new kind of piece of upper level energy perhaps brings some better focus to the rain chances. Most of it's still fairly scattered through Thursday afternoon. Then a cold front advances through the region. I say cooler for Friday, but we go from the mid 70s to maybe the upper 60s to low 70s. For a brief period of time on Friday afternoon, and then we're back well into the 70s this upcoming weekend. So a look at rain totals. This is that exact computer model that you just saw, but in terms of rainfall output, and again, anywhere from a few hundredths of an inch of rain to maybe some areas picking up a quarter of an inch of rainfall. And the official rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, rainfall forecast, not easy to say sometimes, but anyway, you look at those numbers from the Weather Prediction Center. Again, highest totals, the highest likelihood of seeing rain, and in the more persistent showers would be along the Mississippi Valley, Lake Providence, Vicksburg, St. Joseph, Natchez, and all the surrounding areas sprinkled in between. Probably have the best opportunity there. I do also want to draw attention to the possibility as we go into early to mid-March, really early March, the potential that we start trending a little bit more active and perhaps a little bit soggier. That could include rain chances next week. It could include rain chances that next weekend, not this weekend, but the next weekend, the first weekend in March. So the 6 to 10 day outlook and the 8 to 14 day outlook, throw those scenarios out there. Again, it's not necessarily a trend that I'm overly, active on or overly paying over a high amount of attention to yet. It's not anything that I'm overly concerned with yet, but it looks like we could start to work the rain chances back in more frequently early to middle parts of next week, early to middle parts of next month. So, which also coincides with the early and middle parts of next week. So generally speaking, as we set the next 8 to 14 days and beyond that, the law of averages start kind of popping back in my head. It's been so dry for so long. I really figured, all right, January would do the trick. Then we got the ice storm. And then I was like, all right, well, February will get us back on the stormy track. And we got the one storm system on Valentine's Day, and that's it. Looks like the rest of the month will be pretty quiet. Then you've got to start looking toward March and April and going, those are the 2 months that will really get the ArkLaMiss back in the more typical spring pattern in our area. And it's a possibility, but I don't really see any signs pointing towards severe weather or multiple severe weather episodes or anything like that. It just looks like spring. The ebbs and flows of spring. Doesn't feel like winter. Just full disclosure, if you're waiting for winter to return, there is potential that we could see a punch of cold air, like I said, in about 2 weeks. But the computer models are always kind of hinting at something like that in that 2 to 2.5 week stretch, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. That was a lot of rambling that doesn't really answer a lot of questions. But here we are, mid to upper 60s for highs today. Again, the clouds continue to gradually return, especially as we work through the night. Winds will stay breezy out of the south. And Rhonda, Marlene, Gloria, thanks so much for joining in. Low 50s tonight. Upper 40s are not out of the question, especially across southern Arkansas. But I think most of us will hover in the low 50s or near 50 degrees. Winds could still stay breezy during the evening hours. Look at the 7-day forecast. All of these numbers have been refreshed and uploaded to digitalweatherdesk.com and the Digital Weather Desk app. So again, while things change, they really kind of stayed the same. Small rain chances Wednesday, better rain chances Thursday, most of it still scattered. A little bit of a dip temperature-wise Friday, back into the mid to upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday. And again, fairly quiet. Small rain chances, lackluster rain totals, an exacerbated drought across the area because, again, the warmer, dry conditions not really doing us any favors in that regard. Reminder, the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank's a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. It is made possible 100% free to you by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. I highly suggest you pick out one of them today and send them a Facebook message or a whatever message, an email, a smoke signal, I don't care, and just say, hey, thanks so much for supporting the Digital Weather Desk. They will appreciate it, and I will appreciate it, and you'll feel better having done it. I'll join you a little bit later today with a look at the forecast late this afternoon. The fish and game forecast made possible by First South Farm Credit is out at 8 p.m. tonight. And, of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on the ebbs and flows, the dips, the ups and downs of the forecast as we head through the rest of the week. Thanks so much for making the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, part of your day. I'll check in with you a little bit later. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Century Next Bank is proud to sponsor Digital Weather Desk with local meteorologist Jared Floyd.
The Digital Weather Desk is your local source for the latest weather information to help keep you and your family safe and to plan your week. You can follow us on our social media platforms, download our app, and you can also find us at digitalweatherdesk.com. The Digital Weather Desk,
Powered by Century Next Bank.